Throughout human history, there has been a pervasive narrative of men sacrificing themselves for the greater good. Whether charging into battle, braving natural disasters, or taking on physically grueling tasks, this archetype, the real man, has remained a constant. It is not merely a cultural artifact, but a behavior rooted in evolutionary biology, psychology, and the collective unconscious. Men, as tools for the genetic propagation of the species, have evolved to act as protectors and providers, often to their own detriment. Yet in the modern world, this primal urge meets a growing tension. The need to redefine masculinity in a society where self-sacrifice is no longer the only path to fulfillment or value. From an evolutionary perspective, men have historically been expendable in service to the survival of the group. Unlike women, whose reproductive contributions are constrained by biology, men's reproductive potential is theoretically limitless. This disparity created a dynamic where the loss of a few men in battle, hunting, or protection was less catastrophic to the species' survival than the loss of women. This utilitarian calculus fostered behaviors where men prioritized the group's safety and success over their own lives. Sacrifice was not only admired, but necessary. Carl Jung's concept of the collective unconscious offers insight into how this archetype has persisted across cultures and epochs. According to Jung, the collective unconscious contains universal symbols and motifs, archetypes that shape human behavior and perceptions. The hero archetype is particularly potent in men, manifesting as the urge to conquer, protect, and, when necessary, lay down one's life for others. This archetype, however, is not without its shadow. Jung posited that every archetype has a dark side, and the hero's shadow emerges when the drive for self-sacrifice becomes destructive or inauthentic. In the pursuit of proving their worth as men, individuals may deny their vulnerabilities, suppress emotions, or engage in self-destructive behaviors. The ideal of the real man becomes a burden, forcing men into roles that clash with their individual needs and aspirations. In the contemporary world, the evolutionary imperative for men to sacrifice themselves is increasingly at odds with societal realities. Advances in technology, medicine, and social organization have reduced the need for men to act as physical protectors. The modern economy values intellectual and emotional labor as much as, if not more than, physical prowess. Yet, the archetypal real man persists, reinforced by media, cultural traditions, and internalized narratives. This dissonance creates a conflict within the male psyche. On one hand, there is the inherited urge to prove worth through sacrifice, to embody the hero archetype. On the other hand, there is the growing awareness that masculinity need not be synonymous with martyrdom. Men are confronted with a choice to cling to outdated ideals or to redefine their roles in a way that honors both their evolutionary heritage and their individuality. Jung's idea of individuation, the process of integrating all aspects of the self, including the shadow, offers a path forward. By acknowledging the influence of evolutionary biology and the hero archetype, men can better understand their impulses without being controlled by them. Sacrifice can be reimagined not as a literal giving of one's life, but as a commitment to living meaningfully for the benefit of others. For instance, instead of dying for a cause, men might dedicate themselves to mentoring, building communities, or championing social justice. These acts still fulfill the evolutionary drive to protect and propagate, but do so in a way that values life over death. They also embrace the fuller spectrum of human emotion and vulnerability, breaking free from the restrictive mold of the real man. The archetype of the self-sacrificing man is deeply embedded in our evolutionary history and collective unconscious. While it has served humanity's survival for millennia, it is not without its limitations and harms. The modern world offers an opportunity to reconcile this primal urge with a broader, more inclusive understanding of masculinity. By embracing the hero within, not as a figure who dies for glory, but as one who lives for purpose, men can find a new sense of value and authenticity. In doing so, they honor their evolutionary heritage while stepping into a future where masculinity is as diverse and dynamic as humanity itself.